Hey, what is up, everybody? My name's Shinsuke Joker Fan, and welcome to another episode of Walking Talking Dead. So, what happened in this episode? It wasn't exciting, but it was more of a mystery, and it was more of a story. So, this story was about Heath and Tara, who went out for supplies about 2 weeks ago. This was just after they took out the satellite post, as you already know. So, basically, what happens is it explains basically what's happening to Tara and Heath in the middle of this story. So, we start off with a girl and a woman's voice was a walker's basically sinking in the sand. You hear the little girl, she stabs it in the head with a spear. And then it shows to the two people, and she goes, "Oh, look, there's another one," and runs to it. And then the woman stops her and says, "No, this person's alive." She says, "It doesn't matter, we still have to do it." And it's like, "No, we don't." And she's like, "Yes, we do. We're supposed to, is what we're told to do." She's like, "Well, I don't want to do it." And she's like, "Well, I do." And it's like, no. It's like talking to a brick wall, basically. And so she tells the girl, she takes a spear from her and says, "Are you going to tell? Because I need to know if you're going to tell." And she goes, "I need to know if you're a snitch." And she's like, "I'm no snitch, but I'm not going to help you." So she picks up Tara and puts her to the shore between these two very large branches. And then it cuts back to a flashback of Tara and Heath in the RV, and they're eating little bits of, I don't know what they're eating, but yeah. And she tells something that Glenn told her, which was nothing, there is nowhere where something isn't hidden. Because you remember he tells her that after he finds two silencers in a mini fridge. Very odd place to put silencers. Anyway. So, you may be wondering why the camera's all... Okay, I'm in my room now. At my light, I'm on my bed, actually. And my bed is way up here. So, yeah. So, I'm resting this on my knees. So, it's a little wobbly. So, that's why I'm only using one hand. Back to the episode, getting a little further out of the thing. I'm sorry. So, then, obviously, Heath explains that he is not the same anymore. She's not the same. They all have to do what they have to do to survive. And so, then it cuts back to the woman coming back to see if Tara's still alive. And she leaves her 2 balls of water, a fish wrapped up in newspaper, and she leaves her a spear. Tara then wakes up, seeing the woman, looking for stuff. She drinks a bit of water, looks at the fish, and looks at it as like, "Of all the food you could leave me, you left me a fish." And so, she picks up the spear and everything else, and follows her back to their camp, back to her camp, or hoping she has a camp that she can follow her back to. And then you get to the oceanfront. I have not read this far into the comics, so I don't know if the oceanfront's an actual place in the comics, but I'm assuming it is. That's why sadly my guest presenter isn't here today. He was unavailable, sadly. That's why I would need him, because he's got a little more further knowledge, because he's got like all the comics or all the volumes. I don't know. So basically, she follows her, and she can hear bells and air horns. The women, there's only women there, by the way, and very young children. And so they grab the guns and start shooting at Tara. Tara's running. She manages to hide. She shoves a woman, grabs her shotgun, and points at her. And the woman says, "Go ahead, do it." And so she takes the stock of the shotgun, as you've seen in the adverts, and gives her a good old hit on the head to knock her out. Because Tara's a good person. She wouldn't kill anybody just for the sake of it. And then she runs around the corner, and the little girl who wanted to stab her in the head in the first place comes around the corner with her gun. Now, she's got the gun, and that's a toy gun about like this. And she goes, "It doesn't matter." Gets her hand ready and goes, "We're supposed to." And the woman who stopped her in the first place gets between her and goes, "No." And then everybody surrounds them. And her grandmother, which she explains later on, goes, "No, get away from her." And she's like, "She's done nothing wrong." It's like, "It doesn't matter. She's a because you learn later that they kill every single stranger because, well, the saviors came and killed all their men. Hence the reason why there's no men or boys over 10. Which is very sad and sick. So, then also they go back to another flashback of them at a site. And there's a bunch of sand, and they think they found another place that went bad. he finds a bunch of bullets in the sand as Tara's trying to pull a bag out of the sand. He says, no, wait. The sand collapses and a bunch of walkers come out. And they grab Tara, and they try to grab Heath, but Heath also gets to his feet, Matt. And then Tara sadly gets surrounded a little bit, and then it shows Heath leaving. Then it cuts back to her being handcuffed, and they want to see if she's trustworthy, because they don't want to release her, because then they'll know, because then whoever she's with will know about the ocean front, and they don't want anyone to know that they're there, because they're worried in case the saviors will come back for them, because they were supposed to provide for them, like Rick, the kingdom, and everything, so yeah. So, they go to decide whether they're going to keep her. And so she tells a lie, like she did if you remember season 4, when they were speaking about the governor's half of the story, where he'd been for so many episodes. She said that she was a police officer, if you remember, but then it turned out no, she wasn't. She just stole a gun that was a police issue. So she says she used to work on a boat. And so the woman says, which one? And she names a bunch of them, and one of them is the larder. And she goes, oh, the last one. She has no idea what a larder is. And so she talks to them, and they go, okay, we're going to decide whether we should keep you or not. And then it goes to, and then it basically, because she explains that she had a friend who she lost sight of, which is Heath, obviously. So obviously, after a while, it shows them taking her out of the building into another building, where they're having fish stew. And so she goes, oh, did you enjoy the fish she gave you? She's like, mm-hmm. She's like, no, you did. And she's like, you're a liar. And we know that. And she's like, because there's no such thing as a boat called the larder. And she goes, is there? There's not? She goes, no, a larder is a place where you keep frozen meat. Basically a cupboard. And then so, basically, she explains where she was really from. She's from a community. And she doesn't want to stay. She wants to go back to that community because she has a girlfriend there, a.k.a. the doctor, who had a crossbolt through the eye. Because she's been gone for 2 weeks, she doesn't know that she's dead, which is very sad for Tara. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but okay. So, yeah. So, they basically, she's like, well, maybe we could work together. Like, you trade with us, we trade with you, kind of thing. And they're like, no. Well, that can't work. People can't know we're here. So she assigns to get her the two people who were supposed to look after her, and keep an eye on her in the first place, to go with her back to her community to find her friend, aka Heath, and then to go back to the community, aka Alexandria. And the woman who protected her twice already decides, I want to go with her, and she's like, no, you broke the rules so many times before. Until you can, if this goes well, then maybe there'll be other chances. But if it doesn't go well, then we'll think about it. And then Katara says to the woman, there will be other times. And so, then it basically goes back to another flashback. I'm pretty sure the flashback came before that, but I'm going within the... No, I'm getting ahead of myself again. So, it shows the next morning where they're leaving. Then they're going across the woods, and then they show there's a walker tangled up in bits of rope. So Tara goes, oh, I got it, gets out a knife and goes to stab it. And then she runs. One of the women has an assault rifle and tries to shoot her. Fails. She then falls down a ditch. One woman runs across. She goes to stab the other woman. They fall. They start fighting. And then the woman grabs her gun again. And she goes, please, just let me go. She's like, no, I can't. And then she explains to Tara that all the men were killed by Negan, basically. But she doesn't say Negan. She says the Saviors. And explains to Tara that they didn't kill them all. They just killed a bunch of people at an outpost. There's more of them and more outposts. And then so, the woman then comes back, basically knocks the woman out, takes the gun. And then she leads her back to the bridge, where they jump down and they try and get to the Tara to the other end. Then what happens is she goes to a place where there's a hubcap, that's covered in blood. They then show another flashback where it shows Heath actually protecting her from above when she was screaming for his name. She tries to save him with the hubcap, stabbing them because he's getting surrounded. He's using the bottom of the gun to hit them. And then she falls off the bridge, like she said. She then walks a little further and finds a walker with dreadlocks, exactly like Heath's. She pushes a bunch of them and stabs a bunch of them to see if it's Heath. It turns out it's just a woman walker who just happens to have the same hairstyle as Heath. So then she leaves and finds Heath's glasses broken and the RV's gone. And on a card it says PPP. I don't know what the PPP stands for. You could leave a comment down below if you know what that is, but it says PPP, like how they had the episode JSS, which was Just Survive Somehow, which is very clever. And she says, "Oh, I hope it was you. I hope it was you." Like she hopes that he got out, and it was him who found it. So yeah. So she's walking. She gets to a store. She finds a woman bobblehead that's a doctor. She thinks, "Oh, I'll get this for my girlfriend." And she puts a pair of sunglasses on because she's basically in a gift shop. And then it shows her walking back. Eugene's looking through binoculars and sees her. And he opens the gate. And Tara realizes when she sees Eugene's face all bashed up, something's wrong. Then it shows Rosita and Tara sitting in the office. And she's looking at the bobblehead. And Rosita tells her how sorry she is for her. She's like, "Oh, it's okay." And she goes, "Tell me, where were you? Tell me a place, somewhere." She's like, "I didn't find anything out there." Keeping her promise, because she promised the woman that she would never tell anyone where the ocean front was. So that's basically the episode in a nutshell. As I'm never going to explain the whole episode to you, so I'm just going to say it in a nutshell. So, the next episode is supposed to be the big 90-minute episode. It's supposed to be, I'm pretty sure it's the half-season finale. I thought it was this episode, but it's next week's episode. Obviously, hopefully, there's going to be a crap ton of good stuff in there. We might, and as we already know, this should be the episode Carl tries to get revenge. I won't spoil too much, and hopefully, I'm not looking forward to it, but I really want to see how they're going to do this. Hopefully we get the hot iron. The hot iron has been mentioned with Dwight, when Negan explains what happened to Dwight's face. But hopefully we get to see, because another character in the comics does get the hot iron, so hopefully we get to see that. So guys, I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, hit a like in the down below. Subscribe. I don't know. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Thank you, and goodbye.